Gray Area talks about sex, relationships, mental health, and more. The views and opinions expressed on the show are those of the talent and guests alone and are provided for informational purposes only. We want to talk to you, but our hosts are not qualified healthcare professionals. If you're depressed, feel your life is at risk, or need immediate assistance, please seek professional help or dial 911. Everyone, I'm Sasha Grey, and this is Gray Areas.
What's good? I'm Dumbfoundead. Sasha, how have you been? Did you watch any football this past weekend?
I watched some highlights. My Bears won. I'm content.
Oh, congrats to the Bears. Throwing the old pigskin around.
You definitely don't watch football,
No, I do not watch any football. It's one of the things.
The pigskin around.
Who says that, right? It's one of the things I'm not, I guess, one of the traits that are not masculine about me. I don't watch many sports. I grew up playing sports, and watch the old Lakers and the Bulls.
Okay.
Yeah. How did you get into football?
Community, my neighborhood.
Okay.
Everybody around me. Super Bowl for us was like more exciting than Christmas. Everybody got together. You had food. You had friends.
Yeah.
Good times.
Did you consider it like a masculine trait, being into football?
No, I wouldn't say until adulthood, actually. But if you actually look at American football specifically, everyone, I mean, of course, you're saying like you don't watch football, but let's say when it comes to gender, I don't think there's like an identity that loves or doesn't love football. I would say that's more prevalent in like European football, or let's just call football around the world, soccer.
Football.
You see way more men in the audience in the stadiums than you do in American football, for sure. So a couple years ago, Jim Harbaugh, the coach at Michigan, called football the last bastion of hope for toughness in America in men. Let's talk about that. So are men getting soft?
The last hope.
The last hope is putting on tights and tumbling with each other.
Someone said, ooh. Are men getting soft? No, I mean, it's funny that people would call what's happening now soft, right? Like more men are expressive about their feelings and emotions, and that's not an easy thing to do, or it's not easy for me. Like that was tougher than me, like getting into a scuffle,
Right.
like actually be able to bare my soul.
I know a lot of cold women too. Ice hearts.
Oh yeah. The cold woman will hurt you.
They definitely
I've been
will.
There. But yeah, I think it just depends on what you think is soft, but I don't think so.
Yeah, it's all about an individual experience for sure. But I think it's interesting, this contradiction that in society and culture, men are the dominant ones, right? It's just the way it is. But then you reverse that in different societal contexts. They're not allowed to be dominant when it comes to their emotions, and they're not allowed to express those things and that side of them. It's a very interesting contradiction.
Yeah.
So we're excited to get deeper into breaking down masculinity with tonight's guest. Just like Dumbfoundead, he's also a man.
At the moment, I don't know whether to be proud of that or apologize.
We're all people. Probably some of both of that. And our guest is a man of many talents. You know him from Video Game High School, Polaris Primetime, and most recently from Disney's live-action feature film, Mulan. He also hosts The Download here on VENN. Jimmy Wong.
Let's go. Hey everyone, how's it going? Today we have an incredibly cool guest. Greetings, internet people. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Game Nights. This is pretty close to perfect. I'm bringing out the big guns. I'm on a very special quest out here in New Zealand. Hi, buddy. Ow, don't bite me, dude.
Why do we think old games being remade is so trendy? I know gamers want new stuff.
Bro, you are living the dream.
So great to have you here with us, Jimmy. I know it must have been a real trek coming all the way from There,
Yeah.
right there,
About
from
right
the download.
there. I could hit it with a ball.
Yeah.
I could throw it that far.
How is the show going so far to download? I mean, live shows are another beast, right?
I know. Well, it's funny because you're like, oh, cool, I can do that again in acting all the time. Like, oh, I flubbed my line. You always see those like reels at the end of movies where everyone's just cracking up because they forget everything. It's not like that on live TV. You mess up, drop an F-bomb, someone's gonna knock on your door.
It's over.
Well, I don't want to brag, but our experience, we've been flawless.
Yeah,
Been
it's
nailing
amazing.
it, nailing it.
Yeah,
No problems
you guys talk
whatsoever.
about math.
You know.
You guys talk about all sorts of good things.
Oh my goodness.
So your new movie Mulan is finally
Yes.
out after many delays because of the pandemic. Is it everything you expected and more?
Yeah, it's exactly how I dreamed it up. I was like cutting together an old vlog from 2019, and I was like, guys, 2020 is gonna be amazing. It's gonna be the best year of my life. And I definitely, the monkey's paw curled the finger when I said that. So
Right,
it's,
right.
I mean, like, it's still magical seeing other people watch the movie and families. So many dads have like messaged me on Twitter and being like, my daughters loved it, my sons loved it. And that to me is the most important feedback I could get. Because it's a Disney movie. It's not, I mean, honestly, look, internet, sorry, it's not made for you. It's made for
Right.
kids, ultimately, because that's who needs to take a positive message out from a movie like this.
Definitely, yeah. So it's a huge movie from the release on Disney Plus to international theaters. What has the response been in your actual community? Let's say like your online community.
Yeah, it's nice because all of the Asians I know got together. There's this amazing company called Gold Open, and a lot of it was about promoting the fact that this is a full Asian cast. It's
Yeah.
about representation on the big screen, especially in Hollywood, right? We haven't seen a movie like this. Sure, you can go to China or Japan or Korea, and there are movies with full Asian casts all the time.
Right.
But that just doesn't happen that much in the US. So I think the big response in the community has been like, let's support this. Let's get out there for our brothers and sisters, and let's make sure everyone knows about the movie, and more importantly, where we can take the sort of the tidal wave of movement, you know.
And that's amazing. The
Definitely.
Asian entertainment community is pretty small, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, we all know each other. I know at least 4 people in that movie.
Yeah.
The real
Yeah, no,
talk.
seriously. You go to like 3 parties, you're like, all right, same crowd.
We're all here.
Oh, that's the amazing thing. It's like, for real, I feel like the homies are in the movie, they're representing, and we're not seeing it enough, and I think this is just part of this history that's being written, right?
Yeah, I mean, look at Parasite, right? Like,
Right.
it's not everyone's getting out there and trying to rep as hard as they can because there are really great stories to be told. I think that's like the baseline, right? You go to any culture in the world, there's gonna be a sweet story hiding in there somewhere, just whether or not it makes it to the big screen is a whole other question.
Definitely. And speaking of like this idea of masculinity and what it means, how was that for you growing up as a kid, and how did your, you know, like how did your friends deal with that?
It's funny because I grew up, we lived really far from our school, so I never really hung out that much with kids in my school. So my main
okay.
source of like masculinity and what it meant to be strong was my dad and my older brother. And you, like Hyung, right? That's like the song you wrote. It's
Yeah.
about the same idea. And so he was like we were a year and a half apart. He was definitely the person that I always looked to in terms of, you know, how to talk, how to joke, all those sort of mannerisms I learned like sort of secondhand through him and his clothes, because he's my older brother.
Yeah.
So I think that was like my main source growing up, was having that there.
Yeah, I think, I mean, there's this whole idea that Asian fathers can be kind of cold, you know?
Kind of, yeah. Ice cold, dude.
That's an understatement. That's
Yeah,
an
exactly.
understatement. My dad had a Korean newspaper in front of him. Like, I think he's even in the family portrait, he has a Korean newspaper.
That's a great visual.
International man of mystery.
I mean, yeah, but I think things are changing, obviously, and I'm trying to kind of revisit that relationship with my father, too, and that's not an easy thing to break down, you know?
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting for the future generations to have, like, Drake as your dad or something. You know what I mean? Be a whole different experience.
I bet you're gonna be a great dad, though.
I hope so.
You got dad vibes, man.
I'm
It's
gonna
great.
be a Drake dad.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
gonna be
cool.
a Drake dad.
Have you noticed yourself opening up to your own father?
Yeah,
Or-
I mean, like, after talking to my therapist enough about it, he's just like, it's funny, the moment you mention your parents, you just turn into a different person. I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, you just lose everything, energy, you kind
Whoa.
of gets drained out of you. And it's like, yeah, it does feel exhausting sometimes to think about your parents, your relationship to them. What went wrong? Like, what do you need to forgive them for? What do you need to forgive yourself for? So it's one of those things where my parents did get to move to Southern California, so they're much closer now. And I think
Okay.
having that time away during college and sort of my 20s was really important, because separation makes everyone a little happier. It's like putting each other at a likable distance. If that makes sense.
yeah, that's funny.
Absence makes the
heart's-
heart grow fonder,
Yes.
right?
I've been
Exactly.
taking steps with my father. I told him it's time to put that newspaper down.
Wow,
Put
nice.
it down.
Yeah.
And thematically, let's talk about how Mulan segues flawlessly into today's topic, since it's all about challenging gender stereotypes.
Yeah.
So we talked about the kinds of stereotypes you grew up with, or rather how masculinity was reinforced in your own household. Are there any stereotypes that maybe you're not so proud of that as you've become a man and grown into adulthood that you can recognize and reflect on now?
Yeah, a lot of it comes from people who can be honest with me. So my closest friends, my girlfriend, my dog. No, I'm just kidding. And like the feedback is really important if you're ready to listen to it. So I think the big thing that I got from my dad was talking over people, or having sort of the mansplaining thing. You're smarter, you know the answer. So the other person saying something, but it doesn't matter what you're saying. This is how it should be. This is logically how it should go. And so my brain definitely got folded into that a lot when I was growing up. Do well in tests, study, be the smartest, work to be the smartest. So I think that like naturally translated into whenever someone's talking about something, I just have this urge to talk over them, or just cut to the point and say what's right. And that bluntness isn't really becoming of me, I suppose.
Yeah, I think a lot of my past experiences of being in a group chat with all guys in this locker room banter, like that experience has changed for me, where I don't want to speak in a locker room, a secret setting, and let that represent me even amongst my closest friends too.
Yeah, definitely. And we have, don't forget, a live chat going on, so people can join the conversation. Hit us up.
Get in Discord.
Somebody sent a meme. Now all of California knows it's a boy with flames everywhere, so that's pretty fitting.
That is very fitting.
Well, and we got an email right now from Kevin from Reno, Nevada.
Ooh.
And it reads, in Mulan, we all know a theme in that movie is you need to be a man in order to fight, but what do you think about the reverse? You need to fight in order to be a man. Thoughts?
Interesting. Wow. Okay, first off, this movie is like supposed to be based hundreds and hundreds of years ago, so things are a little different.
Right. It's actually progressive for back then.
Yeah, I know, right? I would actually look at like the modern day like military ads and stuff, where they're constantly trying to show women in the military as well, and whatever position or place that you can be, sort of making this idea that anyone can join and anyone can fight. But then you also know for a fact that there is just blatant misogyny across the world.
Right.
So it's one of those things where I think, yeah, everyone should be able to fight and join in the same way, but there's a lot of different things in the way of that being like a truth. So I think like the idea of you need to fight in order to be a man feels very archaic.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd have to agree with that, definitely.
And I would say, men, we're all a bunch of crybabies at the end of the day. Like, you want to talk about actual who's the most too sensitive? It's men all the time.
Yeah.
I feel like women have the toughest skin in the world, so they're the real fighters.
Awesome. All right, when we come back, we'll explore Jimmy's masculine and feminine sides with a round of 20 and 60. And we'll debate if there's any such thing as positive masculinity.
I can mansplain what she's talking about when we come back.
Nice, bro.
We don't need that. We don't need that.
Rosetta Stone.
Oh my goodness.
In there, man.
Television. Car. Ice cream.
Shrimp chips. Peasant food, no doubt. Magnificent.
Go ahead.
You're amazing. Is there anything you can't do?
I wish to be a princeling, and it shall be so.
Welcome back to Gray Area. We're here with Jimmy Wong, and that was a clip from his upcoming film, Wish Dragon.
Yeah.
That dragon is swinging some big D energy, am I wrong?
Tell that to Jon Cho, who's the voice of it. Yeah, definitely.
So tell us a little bit about your character.
So his name is Din. The movie is set in modern-day Shanghai. It kind of takes what the plot is that we recognize from Aladdin. So a kid stumbles upon a teapot, and inside the teapot is a big, pink, fluffy dragon that grants 3 wishes. And that's about it. Jon Cho is the voice of the dragon. Constance Wu is the voice of the mom. It's super cute, really family-friendly. Just how I do.
Yes, I love it. Today we're talking about toxic masculinity And big D energy definitely falls into that box, unless, you know, it's me talking about my BDE. Then we're like, let's flip it on the other
full
side.
on pun
I want
intended.
some of that BDE.
All
Big
right.
dragon energy, right?
Yes! Love it.
All right. So Wish Dragon is when is that? 2020 it says.
Yeah, 2020 in China. It's one of those things where I was like ready for it to come out in 2020. Awesome year coming up, but I actually have no idea when the American release is. But it's gonna be something you see.
We can't trust posters from now on.
Yeah,
moving
you can't really
forward.
trust.
You never know.
Actually, you can't trust anything. Come to think of it. No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
All right, so without spoiling too much, do you think, or would you consider your character a role model?
Yeah, you know, the character, and it was great talking to the director about it constantly, he is someone that is just super kind, really nice, and giving in a way that doesn't create an expectation on the other side. I'm sure you know what this feels like, which is like someone that can't just be a friend. So Din in this movie is someone that can just be a friend, right? Like if they do something for you, there's no like, but if push comes to shove and we happen to be, you know, close to making out, I would do, you know, like that's
Yep.
not the kind of character he is. He's someone that's just super wholesome and wholehearted and genuine in all his actions.
Nice.
Love it. All right, so Jimmy, we're gonna bring that energy into 20 and 60.
Oh, heck
Dum's gonna ask you 20 rapid fire questions, and we're gonna see how many you can answer in 60 seconds. Cray is our current leader with 14. Jimmy, are you
14?
ready?
I'm gonna destroy that.
Let's do it.
No small talk.
All right, here we go, and the timer starts now. Hooking up with an ex, good idea or bad?
Awful idea.
Historical figure you crush on?
Joan of Arc.
Would you
Yeah.
ever? Someone said that, bro. Would you ever date a fan?
No, no way.
Favorite game of all time?
Oh gosh, Super Mario RPG. It's on the SNES.
What did your parents call you when they were mad at you?
I had a brother named Freddie, and they never could say our names separately, so it'd just be Free Jimmy. Free Jimmy.
Boxers or briefs?
Briefs.
Have you ever punched a hole in the wall?
No.
Do you cry at sad movies?
Hell yeah.
What do you eat when you eat your feelings?
Probably burgers. Burgers, yeah.
Burgers.
Burgers.
What's your most annoying man habit?
Probably the mansplaining I was talking about earlier. Over talking people, yeah.
True. Sing the highest note you can hit.
You can do better than that.
That was pretty good.
Time for it
If you had to get arrested for something, what crime would you commit?
Public nudity.
Who should pay on first date? Who should pay?
Whoever asks. Whoever asks.
Wow,
All right.
13. You did not.
Damn.
How
You know,
many?
it's fine.
13.
13. Lucky 13. I'll take
I
it.
felt like you got more.
Trust me, I wasn't trying to sabotage. I was going at a fair pace. But wait, you said Joan of Arc. I swear somebody else said Joan of Arc. What is up with Joan of Arc?
Yeah.
Dude, badass. Total badass.
True, true.
I feel like, yeah, somebody else did say
She's
that.
like the Western universe's Mulan. It's like
All right, so it's time for our first poll. Who most influenced how you define masculinity? Parents, friends, school, or media?
oh gosh.
Vote at venn.tv/play or type your answer into the chat.
I hope it's not media.
What are you guys thinking on that poll?
I think
it's
friends.
so hard. I think it's such an individual,
Yeah.
you know, it depends on the individual.
A lot of
Yeah,
the pressure
but
from friends early on.
I would
right,
say-
when you're a
Oh,
kid.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Family or friends.
Well, we've got a caller. Hey, Solomon.
Ooh. Put them on
Hey
the-
guys, what's up?
Not much.
What's up?
How you doing? You got a question for us?
I'm Solomon. I'm from Fairfax, Virginia, and that was a good question you guys just asked. I think the media, personally.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I feel that.
My question is, what is inherently toxic about masculinity, or why do we perceive it that way?
I don't think there's anything inherently toxic. I just think it's that men, for a very long time, have held a dominant position in society, and sometimes people do abuse their power.
Yeah, power corrupts in any circumstance, right? Like you see it in every single field in the world. So yeah, when people say toxic masculinity, they're talking about a very specific thing, and toxicity is hard to describe. It's like when someone farts in a room, like it's not like they're actively being like, "Hey, stop! You shut up, stop!" But the energy is definitely lessened, and you're not able to like operate at your best, if that makes sense. So like toxicity is kind of this idea where it's like behavior that drags other people down with you or worsens who they
It's
are.
the things that masculinity has become synonymous to.
Right.
You know, the power and the oppression of it.
The negative stereotypes. Are you dealing with something right now where you feel conflicted with these points of views?
I feel a little bit. I feel a little bit conflicted because I personally don't like to wear a mask, and I feel like a lot of the times it's my female friends who kind of criticize me for not wearing it, and they say like it's toxic masculinity not to think about others by wearing a mask, I guess.
Well, we've seen men and women all around not willing to wear masks.
Not a male problem.
That's weird. I don't think of that as a male problem or a female problem, but that's interesting.
It's not a gender problem, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I think the idea is more consider others as well as yourself, which is why you wear a mask. It's both ways, right? You wouldn't want to do something in public to endanger someone else, and at the same time, if you can protect yourself, that's what a mask is.
Exactly.
So.
All right. Well, Solomon, thank you so much for calling. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Dig it. Thanks, man.
Awesome show, guys. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you again.
Nice guy.
That's the perfect intro to dig into toxic masculinity. It feels like it's only acceptable for men to feel some emotions, but not others. Jimmy, I know you had some thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think men don't like being embarrassed. Men really don't like being emasculated or feeling inferior or like they're being dommed or put into a submissive state. I think all of these things run contrary to what people find as comfortable. Because I think it's really hard to, when you're in a position where all of a sudden you're not in control anymore or someone else is taking the dominant position, to find comfort or safety even in it, which I think is like kind of like what the dom sub thing is all the way in BDSM culture, right? Which is like, it is comforting to not have to worry about things sometimes and to take commands. And I think there is a version of that that exists in real life that a lot of people are generally afraid of if they don't really know how to accept it when it's coming at them.
Definitely, they don't know how to live with a new normal, let's say, or adapt even.
Jimmy sounds like he studied the hell out of that. What in the world? Did you major in this?
It's interesting though, because I've even found myself in situations, just public situations, at an event, meeting a friend of a friend, who it's like, yeah, we know we both know each other, but we don't know each other.
Right.
And I'll go to shake their hand, and I've had people scoff at me, like, and they kind of leaned in for a hug, and it was the sort of same time. But I don't hug people.
Yeah.
When I just meet them, maybe close hug, like at the end, if I vibed with you at the end. But I hate this feeling that, you know,
you
we
have to hug.
Yeah.
Well, don't worry, you won't have to worry about that at all anymore.
Hugs are
That's out the window.
Gone. Good luck.
That
having
hug
a
life is over.
That is a good thing too. I think men are really afraid of rejection, and also like they harbor a resentment towards it as well sometimes. I know I'm talking from my own experience. I can't speak for every man out there. I can't be like, men are this, because that would just be silly. But I know for a fact that the idea that someone's setting their boundaries, right, which is what you did, being like, I would rather shake your hand than hug, to someone else can be read as, what does that say about me? Did I do something wrong? Do they not like me? And it becomes this accusatory, like, scapegoaty moment where you can just be like, hey, that's them setting their boundaries in the same way that you would set your own boundaries if you're not comfortable with doing something.
Definitely, yeah. So what do you think about the Me Too movement? Do you think it has changed men and changed society permanently?
I think for modern society, yeah, there is definitely a shift. And I think like it's one of those things where the pendulum was so far on the other side of the court that in order to break through, it had to swing real freaking hard. And as a result, a lot of people are looking at the broken glass and being like, the glass is broken, I'm bleeding, how bad can it be? But not looking at the fact that it is really a huge societal shift towards a better world for everyone.
Yeah, there's no doubt that the Me Too movement has affected you know, the thought process of every man out there, or revisit their actions.
Yeah. I mean, I have such mixed feelings because, of course, in my heart and soul, like I definitely identify. I've been there. I side with the movement, but then I look around the world and it feels like it's sometimes such a first world problem, and that these messages are really hard to get through to people around the world. But then I vacillate and I go back and I say, well, hopefully we can lead by example. And it's baby steps. We still have so much to learn.
Totally.
Even when it comes to implementing change. Because right now I feel like we're still in the stages of just the calling out. But how do we actually change society from this point on? Not just complain about it.
Well, we just got to the calling out, so, you know,
right?
There's a lot of work to be done.
It's kind of like, I was described it to someone as the internet was collectively upchucking the contents of its stomach. Like all this stuff that had been hidden away that they've been like burying under the surface or putting under the carpet, finally just someone put in one of those pills that makes you throw up and it all comes out at once. And to a lot of people, it's really overwhelming for good reason. So I think it's one of those situations where like you can't really see where we're at until everyone has gotten it out of their system. And unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of very sensitive moments around that.
Definitely.
But at least we're past, I think, the roughest phase of it, and we're starting to come to terms with how to deal with this in like a human, person-to-person way.
All right, pencils down on our poll. We asked who most influenced you on how you define masculinity. And, media, 44% media.
Wait, that means
44% of people feel they were influenced by
this
media.
show is the most influential thing happening to them right now. Take that, Dad.
That's why it's important you watch us every week.
Subscribe, please. I think that's actually great. Media is, again, like I'm an actor, I do stuff, and that's a great way to lead by example, like you just said, which is people get to watch stuff and they get to take a story back from it. Like I remember watching James Bond growing up and being like, I want to be suave and cool like that. That's how, like, and you watch like Kingsman.
Me too.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to be James Bond.
Yeah, hell yeah. And so that's good to know that media is more of an influence.
Yeah. And that's why when people talk about how art, they shouldn't mix art with politics.
Art is politics,
That's
bro.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's so important. You know how much of a difference it makes when there's a different person playing it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
different people are being represented.
All right, so when we come back, we're going to talk about some examples of both toxic and positive masculinity in pop culture.
Jimmy and I will be engaging in a man-spreading contest until we come.
Oh, really? Okay, let's go.
I'm getting in on this. I'm getting in on this.
Everyone can spread.
I need to stretch more. Kelsey Dara is joining us Friday. Her book is Don't Effing Panic, and we all could use some help with that right now. So if you want to talk to Kelsey, don't forget to hit us up.
Welcome back to Gray Area, where we're talking to Jimmy Wong about breaking down the patriarchy. We're also seeing who can do better manspreading.
Oh yeah, I almost pulled something last time. So.
Your calves looking brolic, bro. Is that
Thanks,
from the
man,
Mulan
thanks.
training
No,
or what?
no, that's like my COVID-19 pounds. It's just decided to place itself in odd places in my body.
All right, so which is more annoying, manspreading or mansplaining?
Splaining. Gotta
Mansplaining
be
for sure.
splaining.
Yeah.
Spreading, you can just look away.
I don't really do a
Also-
lot of manspreading. I'm pretty polite when it comes to that.
There's also like worse problems.
yeah. That was a whole thing. People really got mad about the manspreading for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah.
But mansplaining, I think we're both probably guilty of doing that.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
All
Even
right.
without knowing it.
So let's talk about role models for men. How much do you guys think the media feeds into toxic masculinity?
I guess it depends on who you ask.
Yeah, definitely.
I remember watching the movie Joker, and I remember thinking, this cannot possibly be good for a certain subset of people watching this movie. A lot of people will watch this movie and walk away going with it, Joker did the right thing. I'm empowered by this man's actions. Yeah, I love how he stood up and did that, you know?
It kind of represents the counter to what we're talking about, this modern man being able to express themselves. And it's like the counter movement, which is going on in real life as well, too.
Yeah, totally. Oof.
Whether, the incel movement or Proud Boys or, all that.
Yeah, I think the deeper you dig into it, the more scary things you find.
Yeah.
The one common thread through all of it is fear. It's generally a fear of something. A fear of being emasculated, being embarrassed again, or not being seen as the top, or whatever it is, or seeing, I'm not a Chad. Fear of not being accepted or not being handsome or whatever it is. So there definitely is a lot of media that feeds into that, even if it doesn't fully realize it when it's doing it.
But remember, everybody, it's all a fantasy.
Yeah, it's
Media
all fiction.
is a fantasy.
Duh.
I want to talk about, do you feel, this is a topic, I know growing up too, there was a lot of Asian men feeling emasculated amongst, I know when I was in my peer group, there was a stereotype amongst Asian men. A lot.
Yeah.
Did you ever feel that or experience any of that?
I think for me, because I'm 33, but people are always like, you look like you're in high school. And when I was in high school, you look like you're in middle school. So I always had this sort of thing where I wasn't as big as other people.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to play sports.
Well, I hit
didn't-
puberty late too. So.
Yeah, exactly. A late bloomer. You're what, 25, John? No, I'm just kidding. So I think that's one thing that really led me to being feeling not like a man growing up, just because I couldn't do the things that men were doing around me. The men that got the girls in my small private high school were generally the jocks and all that. And I guess these days that's transformed to who has the most Instagram followers.
Oh, God. All right. Why don't we look at some examples of male characters in the media and decide if they're good role models or just toxic? Don Draper.
Oh, Don Draper, John Hamm in Mad Men.
That depicts more of the time.
Yeah.
That is how men were back then.
Yeah.
This show is great though because it has so many positive women role models in it, and Don Draper stands as a foil to them a lot of the time. So you get to watch sort of like the old clash with the new constantly.
Oh, yeah.
So I think the writing is really good. But yeah, he's probably maybe on the negative side.
Let's say by today's standards, toxic.
Oh, certainly, yeah. He does not let other people have control.
Oh, no.
He has to be in control, yeah.
All right, let's check out another one.
Oh, it's Joker.
Good timing,
Yeah.
Joker.
He is someone that they framed as having mental issues, and that I think caused a whole lot of unnecessary confusion about the character as well, because it's like, what's to blame? The media for doing this to him, society, or is it what's in his own head? So I think Joaquin Phoenix brings a huge amount of humanity to the character, and you do feel really sorry for him. I just didn't like where the writing.
Well, he makes wearing makeup look cool.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, so there's
He's
a
not
little,
afraid.
there's a little
True.
feminine side to that.
All right, let's see one more.
Oh,
Captain America.
America. Did I say that?
Actually, I heard you
just
can't.
like, oh, no.
I can't even say that word? Uh-oh, someone's
Because we
knocking on my
talked
door
about
tonight.
this,
We're
and we
learning
weren't
every
actually
day.
supposed to say that.
We're learning every day.
Dictionary picture. His
Yeah,
dictionary
that's what he
picture
said.
looked
Oh,
intense.
a nice little loophole you found there.
He's got to be the most positive male role model we've had in quite a while in terms of superheroes. He's always, fighting for justice, the right thing, standing up for people,
Right.
knowing where his place is as well, and not overstepping his boundaries in the wrong ways.
Do we know his stance on women's rights, though?
We should probably bring up Chris Evans
Good
and
point.
ask.
All right, speaking of Captain America, I want to talk about Chris Evans and how the world treated his accidental pic that he posted of his stars and stripes.
Oh, that's a
This
better way.
weekend, over the weekend, people jumped to his defense to protect his privacy. Now let's compare that to how women have been treated when their nude photos have been hacked and released.
Oh, right.
That is a good point. First of all, I've never called my junk stars and stripes.
Well, we were trying to, use language that is appropriate.
So sorry. I'll take the blame. I'll take the L on that one.
But you're right. Women in the past have been. I didn't know this was going on. First of all, with Chris Evans and how this situation's being treated.
Yeah.
That people are like protecting.
They
Yeah,
definitely
no,
they love him
they're like,
online for sure.
Don't share the photo. Share photos of him and his dog. Whereas this has happened to women in the past
Yeah.
who actually were hacked, and the general response is overwhelmingly, she shouldn't have taken the picture in the first
Right.
place.
Yeah, it's like you don't want to get raped, don't wear a miniskirt.
Exactly.
It's like, what? Why is
Yeah.
the responsibility on the woman all of a sudden?
Right.
Exactly. So yeah,
Yeah, I've seen a lot of this happen in general, which is there is an odd tendency for males online, and I don't know if they're being indoctrinated into it or if it's just a trend of the times, to be inordinately angry at women for whatever reason, and inordinately angry at men for being nice to women. God, for women can't be nice to men, but men can't be nice to women. It's like this weird, bizarre world where there are different standards and expectations that
Definitely.
take place. in
I
the world.
actually noticed that even with the Super Bowl incident with Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake. People
a
seem
lot
to
of.
have-
I mean, that's a whole other topic because a bunch of new stuff came out about that recently. But first, we're not done with questions
Whoa.
just yet. Right now, we have a Discord audio message from G.
In 2020, racism and toxic masculinity are still so prevalent in society and media. As a minority male who is in tune with my femininity, how do I find acceptance of myself when I don't see it around me?
I think pop culture in general has a very storied history of not accepting others. So even growing up, if you ever felt yourself living outside of the box or not sharing the same interests that your peers shared, it's always been a challenge to find a way to fit in. I think this is the first time that we're really seeing a shift in pop culture where the others are being accepted, where we're hearing other stories.
and pop culture is behind, essentially.
Right.
Definitely.
You know?
But I think something that is very common amongst a lot of people, it's like, if you don't need to be on every social media app, like try deleting it sometimes. Try getting rid of it. I think that affects all of us in a negative way.
Yeah, and watch The Social Dilemma on Netflix.
Oh,
to
yeah.
really
We were talking
learn.
about that earlier. Yeah.
Scary stuff.
Really scary stuff.
You got to seek out these communities. Though.
Yeah.
You know,
For sure.
I too am a model male minority who's in tune with his feminine side. So it's
Yeah.
like you got to seek these communities out, and they're out there. I mean, Discord.
And well, that's
Yeah,
what I was gonna say. On
totally.
the flip side, like there are communities there. Unfortunately, we can't connect right now in the real world the way we would like to, but
Yeah.
there are great communities. Find the ones that speak to you and are going to help you grow and learn more.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to our Discord fans. We really appreciate you calling in
Yeah.
and being part of the show. So keep hitting us up.
I love Discord.
Coming up, we will face the challenge to be better men, and by we, I mean these guys. No, I mean I'm your uncle, so come on. Let us know in chat who is the best role model in pop culture today.
That's some bossish calling yourself uncle, actually. We're gonna
They
level-
call me that. They call me that.
We're gonna level up. Well, maybe just Jimmy. I'm gonna go Google that Captain America pic.
Oh, it's everywhere. You'll find it.
Research.
Have fun.
Research.
Market research.
Being a man in 2020 is very strange. It feels like women want men to be aggressive, yet they want them to be passive and gentle and allow them to do their thing. So it's kind of like being stuck between a rock and a hard place. You have to find your middle ground to how you should approach women.
All right.
Welcome back to Gray Area. We're here talking about modern masculinity with Jimmy Wong. So let's talk about that. If women are expecting men to change, do women also need to change their expectations?
I'm gonna say yes.
I'll say yes too. I mean,
Not
to
yet,
a
not
certain
yet.
degree.
To a certain degree.
Yeah. I mean, like, look, it's a two-way street. Every conversation, there has to be give and take on both sides. I think it's just more about, for the men, learning that it's okay to give a little, and for women to only trust the people you can trust, right? Don't just go around trusting every single person because they seem like a nice guy on the surface. That's very broad. One paintbrush, one stroke.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing, like the guy in the video is talking about, each individual is gonna have a different perspective and a different attitude. But one thing that I commonly find with women is like, when we say be emotional, it's also just about listening. You don't always have to
Right.
give an opinion, but just be there, be present.
I think that's just having layers, you know, like what he said about what women want in a man. It's like the same thing I want in a woman, you know, just depth and layers, just like that.
Like a good sandwich.
All right, we've established things like punching a hole in a wall or refusing to cry as symptoms of toxic masculinity. But let's talk about more covert examples. I want to test how secure you guys are as modern men. I'll read a list of things, and you guys raise that paddle to say yes if you've done it, or no if you haven't. Got it?
We're all
Okay.
lavender, yes.
Yes.
All right, ordered a fruity drink at a bar.
Oh, heck yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna say no on that. It's not because I think it's like a feminine drink or whatever. I just like drinks that are quick to make.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Wore a pink shirt.
Yep.
Oh yeah, shout out Cameron.
Dude, that pink cardigan you wore on this show once, I was like, dang, where did I get one of those?
You were looking for it on Google, like
Yeah.
pink cardigan that dumb wore.
Dumbfoundead cardigan.
All right, got a spa pedicure.
Yes.
Yeah, done
I
that.
appreciate a guy who can take care of his feet and not be embarrassed by that.
Asians are serious about their spa game and their
Yeah.
saunas.
Oh yeah.
Scrub my feet. Scrub me.
Your royal. Oh wait, wrong movie. Bought tampons.
Yes, my
Bought
girlfriend.
tampons, made a tampon
100%.
run or two back in the day.
Good, good. All right, got a massage from a man.
Oh, yeah.
You know what's
Yeah,
funny? I
thank-
actually haven't, just aggressive old Asian women.
Yeah, but I just feel
Just
like
one?
men are usually physically stronger, so I'm like, yeah, give me the dude.
Oh no, old Asian women will.
Yeah.
They're,
Even
they're
still,
strong.
they are, but even still.
I'm looking to get my ass beat when I'm Let me feel it.
All right, wore a crop top.
Yeah, as a
have-
joke, but not seriously. There's pictures. You'll find them.
You don't like this.
No, it's not for me. I mean, I don't mind if gay men do it. It's a serious thing. I don't mind if gay men do it, but when it comes to cisgendered men, I just don't get it. It's not. Just at that point, take the shirt off. Just wear a tank top.
Okay.
We don't need all that.
Burning my crop top.
All right. Sat down to pee.
Every
Yeah.
time. Are you kidding me?
And you know what? This is a thing that a lot of dudes don't like to admit, I think.
Why? It's cleaner. It's easier.
It
you
is
can look at your phone.
It's very lazy. Yeah. It's true. It's true.
All right. Sang along to a Taylor Swift song.
Yeah. Went to a Taylor Swift concert.
Whoa.
I'm
all
not
right.
familiar with Taylor Swift's catalog, so I'm
9.
going to say no on that one.
Okay. Screamed when he saw a spider.
Nah.
Lies. I don't buy it.
Dude, I just may as well hold this up as yes at this point.
The
Jeez.
media has affected my masculinity. I think it's going to give me spider powers or something.
Oh, okay,
You know?
that's
So
okay.
I just let it rock.
You're just like, come here.
All right. Carried a purse.
Yeah.
Carried a purse for a girl, or you've worn a merce.
Definitely
yeah.
worn a merce.
I've carried it for a girl and my homie's purse, too. I've
will-
carried theirs purse. Yeah, you want me to hold that, homie? Yeah, cool.
I would say when I carry a purse, though, I'm trying to do it in the manliest way. I'm trying to be like,
Yeah.
yeah, I got it, and like 6 other bags in my other hand.
That is so true.
Functional. It's functional.
I think dudes, they carry it like this.
Yeah.
Like in Mulan, where you guys are carrying the water
It's
pails.
got cooties, dude. You gotta get away from
Oh
me.
man, I hate when girls. Wait, sidebar. I hate when girls wear the purse here and they do that. Like, is your wrist broken? What's happening there?
that a thing? I didn't even know it was a thing.
Yeah,
move.
it was. It's a move. It's like, well, look at my expensive bag. I must bring
okay.
attention to it. It's really annoying. Okay, that's it.
Oh, that's it.
I'm 10 for 10 or whatever.
So,
Yeah.
what did
What
that
do
prove?
we
That
have
we're
the
in tune
number?
with our feminine side? Did that prove anything or no?
I think it's for me. I'm not afraid of getting emasculated because I know who I am at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm not gonna go
I think that
home
happens
and...
with age too, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Experience teaches you that beyond everything else. That like, you gotta be secure with yourself. I don't go home and then
Definitely.
I'd be like, I carried my woman's purse today.
Yeah, nah.
Gonna have to do 6 push-ups tomorrow to make up for that. Like,
And the
nah.
media is changing, you know, like that documentary Cheer, the docu-series Cheer.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to be a cheerleader now. You know what I'm saying? So the media does play a role.
Okay.
Excellent.
Yeah. Let me sit with that visualization. Time for another poll. How do you feel about these? What should a modern masculine man still not do? Wear a crop top. Pee sitting. Yeah, I already influenced you there. Media. Pee sitting down. Fruity drinks. Floral perfume. Or all good.
All right, vote at venn.tv/play or type your answer into the chat. So what do you guys think? Is there something that you don't?
I mean, I don't love floral scents. Like, I don't even like rose water when I'm cooking and stuff. So maybe that's the one that would be the closest. But that at the same time, if you want to do it, just freaking do it.
Yeah, I even wear manly scents. So.
2020, you know.
Yeah.
Just have fun.
All right, we have a caller on the phone for you, Jimmy.
Oh.
We have Sam. What's up, Sam?
Hello, Sam.
Hey, how you guys doing? Good?
Good, thank you.
All right.
So my question today is, what can we do as men to stop toxic masculinity?
Do we have all day?
Wear crop tops.
Wear crop tops.
All together, guys. Crop top day.
At a biker bar.
Yeah.
I got
Sasha
it.
said the most important thing, which is lead by example.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you all go and see a movie in the times when you could, and you come out and it's like Toy Story 3, and talk about the fact that you may have cried. Talk about how it makes you feel. Have conversations with men that you normally don't have with them, and maybe conversations you don't really have with yourself, right? Like, I think like that's a huge part of it, is your immediate friend group is the best place you can affect. And a lot of it
Definitely.
is just be a good ally, be supportive. Don't rag on someone for doing something because it makes them weak or whatever. Like, no, none of that. If you won't want it happening to you, don't do it to someone else. And I think a lot of that is just like, call it out when you see it and be kind to each other.
We put a lot of walls up within our friend groups, like guy groups, you know,
Yeah.
in these group chats, and we don't realize it. That's why all of a sudden we share a feeling, it starts like turns into a roast session.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we've created that kind of environment, and someone has to kind of break the mold at some point.
Honestly, it takes more strength to be vulnerable than it does to pretend to be strong. By
Are you-
far, I think.
Yeah, are you dealing, Sam, with anything like this in your immediate circle right now?
I mean, I feel like we always are to talk to and stuff like that, but that's it.
Yeah, I feel like it is also, and when I say calling out, I don't mean it in the way like go to social media, but actually, like Jimmy said, have these discussions with your friends and also give them the room to grow. I think
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
that's one of the biggest things that it doesn't seem like social media really
Yeah.
pushes for or advocates for, but like actually allow those people to grow and also listen to them as well.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a rocky path. It's not gonna be perfect day one. Like, I know for a fact that I don't think I fully came into myself as a man until like 2 or 3 years ago. And that's my 30s, right? So I think like a big part of cancel culture and the reason why it's so tough is that, like, just like you said, if you assault someone so much that they don't feel like they have any space to even take a step and all they can do is back up, then that's all they're gonna do.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
when calling people out, when setting your boundaries, like, hey, please don't make that kind of joke. I don't like it.
Right.
That's a really simple thing to do. You put the focus on yourself, and that other person has to choose to respect it or not, but it gives them the decision to do so.
Definitely.
Well, Sam, thanks for calling, and we appreciate you.
Thank you,
that
Sam.
helped.
All right, thank you guys.
All right, results are in for our poll. What should a modern masculine man still not do? And what
All good.
All good.
Look at that.
Aw.
That's progress,
Our
right?
people
That is
are so
progress.
sweet.
Wow, we fixed it.
I
Yeah.
love
We did
it.
it.
Sasha was trying
We
to.
fixed the world's problem.
Yeah. I'm glad you
If
weren't
only.
inspired by Sasha's crop top.
I feel like this is all our Discord fam, though.
Yeah,
So,
good fam. Good fam.
Yeah. All right.
Crop top, we won't stop. Crop top, we won't stop.
You-
Yeah, I'm
That's-
picketing tomorrow.
You're all alone on that one, buddy. All alone.
Who will join
Homework
me?
Time.
Who will join me?
I pledge my allegiance to the Crop Top Nation.
When we go to break, go to gamers.vote and register because in 2016, only 19% of people aged 18 to 29 cast their ballot in the presidential election. What?
Don't be those young people. Go now and get it done.
What do you mean, those people? Hurry back for some final wise words about men and the people who live on the planet with them.
Hey, that's us.
All right, we're back with Jimmy Wong and ready for our closing thoughts on today's topic of masculinity. Jimmy, in 4 words, what do you hope defines masculinity moving forward?
Get dommed, be vulnerable.
Oh,
There you go.
I'm all
Go,
for it.
go share your feelings.
Ooh, I like
Okay.
that too.
I'd say emotion has no gender.
Ah, concurrent.
Okay, cool.
Wait, I have emotions.
Get dom.
Get dommed, be vulnerable.
Get dom to be vulnerable.
Yeah, I
I
like
think
that.
that's a good one. Yeah, like in so many aspects.
I'm not talking about dom like, yo, get down the ground and take my commands. It's more like, don't always take the lead.
Exactly.
See what happens when someone else is holding you and moving you in a direction, and understand what it feels like, how you actually have more power sometimes in that situation. It forces you to be more comfortable with yourself too. To know that you're gonna be safe on the other end of it. No one's gonna harm you, right?
I like that. All right, on Friday, we'll talk about dealing with our anxiety with author Kelsey Dara. It should be a good one. And as always, we're live every Wednesday and Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific time.
We hope you learned something tonight. I know I worked some stuff out. And most importantly, we hope y'all had fun. Make sure to find us at VENN.tv and all platforms.
Woo! Thank you for watching Gray Area.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Peace. Thank you, Jimmy.
Peace.